Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach and welcome to a very flustered, up and about Shorty. I reckon I've had my best week ever here. I've gone massive this week. Shorty's up and about. I have a rough idea of where I'm ranked, but it could be top 10, it could be top 20. I'm hoping it's at least top 30, top 40. I've had people messaging me saying, mate, I haven't seen a score higher than yours. And I've had a few saying, there's a few floating around, you might get topped here or there, but you're definitely in the top whatever. Oh boy, I'm going to check it out now. Let's not muck around, but geez, I'm optimistic. Sometimes reviewing the scores every single week, can be rough sometimes, particularly when you have a bad trot. So this is what it's about when you do have those good weeks. Man, it'll be anticlimactic if it isn't loaded yet, but it surely has to be. So let's have a look. Nothing like Shorty's internet to build the anticipation, that's for sure. But come on, show me something good. Maybe we're 23rd for the week. Fucking get that up, yeah. How good's that? Man, 2,778. That's what gets Shorty excited. That is cool. We jumped the ranks. We're back in and around where we'd like to be. I'm bloody over the moon with that. That is great. Like I said, it's not every day that you get a rank like that. I've never had a rank like that. I mean, I think the best I've ever had's maybe, I might have been 74th, like way back. And then more in like the modern era, 211, the weekly rank's the best I've ever had. Because way back, like I'm talking 10 years ago, it was so much easier because there was less media coverage and bastards like me telling you who to pick or who not to pick. But it's so much harder to differentiate yourself these days. So to have a score like that, man, that's cool. I'm stoked with that. The only thing that'll make this night better is if it just keeps raining over in England. Give us that draw, mate. Give us the draw and retain the Ashes. Congrats indeed, Colonel. Congrats indeed. So let's have a look at it. Of all things, Nick Dacos was one of the poorest scorers for the week. Scored 99 after a really good tag from Willem Drew. James Sicily was huge. That just makes you holding him for those 3 weeks. Like, it repays that patience in spades. Stewart was big. He even moved in the midfield at time, was intercepting beautifully when he was back. Dawson, he was my other captain option. I ended up going Bontempelli. I was weighing up between Dacos and Dawson. I thought Port Adelaide would tag Dacos, and I ummed and ahed about Dawson. I thought, look, 126, don't be greedy, mate. Just take it, particularly if you're not super confident in another option. Ryan, rock solid, and Sinclair was fantastic, particularly as the Saints got going. So did he. There's Bontempelli. Dunkley returned to some really good form. Lockie Neal was solid. Brayshaw, again, really solid in what was a pretty tough night for the Dockers. And Jack Steele. And look, this is what really started me to think. So, as you guys know, I don't check the scores much throughout the week. SuperCoach is stressful enough. So, I don't try and follow it bit by bit, match by match, quarter by quarter. I just used to be obsessed with it. So I try to watch the footy for what it is, and you get a rough feel for how they're going anyway. And I'll check it spasmodically throughout the week. But I had a pretty busy week this week. Played some tennis, watched some good footy last night, played golf this morning. So had been watching a few games and listening into a lot, watching a few replays. And then it was just tonight where I was thinking, just round at mum and dad's, go round to there every Sunday night. I'm watching the North Saints game, and Sinclair's really getting going. Marshall's on fire. Jack Steele bombs one from 50. Even Marcus Windhager's going bloody good. And I'm thinking, going through my players, and I'm like, I can't think of many that have struggled because we're basically all primo now. Even Sammy Walsh tons up in. Is that a half a footy? Did Sammy Walsh's hamstring cost me $1,000? There's probably someone else who had Sam Walsh in the top 23, I'm sure. But that made me think, I better check these scores. So I go to my leagues, and you get a rough idea. I'm miles in front of everyone. I click on everyone's matchup in one of the higher ranked leagues. I'm in the content creator league. And I'm like 200 points of everyone, aside from this one other bloke who was 14 points in front of me. So all of a sudden I've clicked into gear like, could I win $1,000? Dad's feeding the cats. I've run into Dad. I'm like, I don't want to get excited, Jeff, but I reckon I'm a chance for the grand here, mate. I reckon I'm a chance for the weekly prize. So all of a sudden, without fully knowing, and clearly there were 22 people who finished higher than me, but at the time, I'm like, me and this bloke, I'm like, this is Marcus Windhager versus Harry Sheasel for $1,000. So I'm riding the last 8 minutes like you wouldn't believe, thinking, oh, I need an underdog performance from Windhager, who's actually been one of my better trade-ins. So yeah, that's how it unfolded for Shorty. And if you've been a long time watcher, you've ridden the bumps with me. There've been some tough calls over the years. There's been some tough rounds, some tough scores to face up to on a Sunday night. So we're going to bathe in the glory of this one. We're going to pop open the Malibu and the little Midori bottle that Shorty's got in there. We're going to put the cricket on and we're going to have a good night. So it's going to be good fun. But carrying on with how my side went, Sammy Walsh, we'll deal with that injury later. He's probably out for 3, but who cares? We're high as anything right now. And Windhager, fantastic. George Hewitt, how good was that? I was pretty committed to that trade anyway because I thought that's a pretty solid M9. When I saw Chera and Cripps out, I thought, baby, this bloke's got a 110 in him every day of the week. 127, thank you very much. So I think what also helped me this week is a lot of people would have struggled to deal with the carnage of a Laird and a Green and all the guys that we've lost. And now a lot will lose Walsh, a lot will lose Ridley. So it's a bloody tough year. Marshall just rocketed home, kicking snags at the end, and Timmy English just doing his thing. Rosie was clutch. Butters only 101. I'd love to know what he was on at halftime because he was flying at halftime. Taranto didn't use the footy well. 13 clearances, but didn't use the footy well. Cornelio, man, when I'm watching the replay there and he's streaming through the 50 kicking goals, I'm thinking, oh, baby, today's a good day. And Darcy Cameron, mate, I've been patient with him too, so it's just a bit of patience is being repaid. And McRae, he's never going to put in a bad one. He actually finished the game pretty well to get up to that 90. So, oh, man, how good's that? How good. How about that? SuperCoach, absolute roller coaster. We normally don't check the rankings, but today we are, mate. Today we are. Let's have a look. Old mate, they're the stuff the overall, mate. Let's go to round 19. 2,900 from some bloke. Vincent. You dirty dog. Well played. Have a look at that. So there were a few that cracked the 2,800. Yeah, nice. And then there you go. Equal 23rd. Me and Tommy, Guns and Rosie. Don't mind that. So there you go. Shorty just kicking back there. Oh, man. That's cool. That's cool. Forgive me for a bit of me time, but I'm up and about. So, yeah, clearly dubs all round, and I actually moved up a bit in some of these. Still can't drag my sorry ass off 19th in my own damn league. So that's rough. Look at that. I'm 19th in this league, and overall, I'm like 7th or something. 9th, but still. Shorty SuperCoach going right there with the league ranking, 50. Good job, guys. And yeah, so there we go. Importantly, just holding nicely in the cash league of baggers, doing nicely in me school league, me tennis league, and most of the other leagues. I'd love to sneak into that one for Shorty SuperCoach 2. I'm currently 9th. And look, really tough league, this one. That's why I often compare how I'm going overall to most of the people in this group. It's a bloody good team in here, like. Largely built up a few of our content creators, and obviously the A-Team League, AFL SuperCoach 360. So just a page that I, upload a bit of stuff to, and they're kind enough to let me use their platform to do a bit of stuff. So if you haven't checked them out, please do. But yeah, always appreciate teaming up with them. And I'm in a draft league with these guys too. And SuperCoach Mama just let me know that she thought I was about 20 out of the whole lot. As the rankings weren't officially out, but she hit me with the old SuperCoach data. Is about 20, they reckon. So I was like, hey, I'm that excited, I'm losing track of time. I think I just cut myself off there mid-sentence. But, yeah, this is one of those weeks where you go, doesn't happen all too often. Even Corey Wagner scored 72, and I was like, gee, do I take that? And I thought, Windhager against North Melbourne, even though it turned out they didn't smack him. But I thought I'd back Windhager in, particularly off his last 3 weeks. Interestingly, Tuke Miller not going as well. So I watched that game real close because I've got him in my draft, and I was just edging over the line in my draft as well in a crucial match there, and I have Miller. Not as much centre bounce time as I would like, so I don't know if they're easing him back, but Flanders is actually playing some great footy. And yeah, sort of maybe taking some of that time. But anyway, so let's just take it back to this page, shall we? Let's just take it back to this bad boy. I could look at that all week, mate. Look at that all week. But as you can see there, I got over Chuka there just in draft. It looks like 30, 40 points there, but I only overtook him in the 5 minutes into the last quarter of the final game. Wanganeen, Miller and Marshall really took it away in the end, but it was close for much of the week. But yeah, not a bad weekend. I came back from 5-2 in the first set to win the opening tiebreak, or the opening set in a tiebreaker in my singles. Lost the second set 6-2. Came back. I'm on the super tiebreak 12-10. So I was getting up and about. Cats didn't win, but you know it's a tough trip up there in Brisbane. And hey, we got back into golf today too. So overall, not a bad weekend. Not too shabby at all. So I'm gonna upload this one now, and then get stuck in the cricket. They said they were going to be back probably about now, I think, pretty soon if it hasn't rained again. So we'll talk trades and that. I mean, I'm thinking I'm going to hold Walsh because I have the coverage of Hewitt, and I think I'll need that one trade for when I genuinely have no coverage later in the year. So feel free to chuck any comments below. But as always, I'll be going live on Wednesday to take all your questions. So if you got any burning questions, even at this late stage in the year, I'll be more than happy to take them. But, of course, always down for a bit of banter as well. And the old Shorty's quiz also. But today's a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.